Welcome back to Outnumbered. Well, going into the second Republican debate, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush was under a lot of pressure to give a breakout performance, showing that he deserves to be the party's nominee. But opinions are mixed. Some saying that he came out of his shell, others that he seemed unsure of how to handle Trump.
You're proud of your family, just as I am.
Correct.
To subject my wife into the middle of a raucous political conversation was completely inappropriate, and I hope you apologize for that, Donald.
Well, I have to tell you, I hear phenomenal things. I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
She
is
is
a total
absolutely the love of my life, and she's right here. And why don't you apologize for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong.
If you're looking at Republican advisors, you have to go to the last two administrations that happen to be 41 and 43. So just by definition, if you're, and many of the people here that are seeking advice from the foreign policy experts in the Republican side, they served in my dad's administration, my brother's administration. Of course that's the case. But I'm my own man. You know what? As it relates to my brother, there's one thing I know for sure. He kept us safe. I don't know if you remember, Donald.
All right, so was it a good night for Jeb, exclamation point. I mean, I think the first clip that we played, Jonah, I don't know, that was awkward when you asked someone to apologize and Donald Trump didn't.
Yeah.
That made him look really weak. And then the second one, the rambling about the Bush advisors and how many people, I mean, I wondered if he was still hitting the Mary Jane.
Yeah, look, I think he did not have a great night. I think he had a better debate than the first debate. But that first exchange was very sort of awkward Thanksgiving dinner kind of feel to it.
In a very waspy house.
Yeah, in a very, very waspy house. And I think that he still comes across sort of beta male against Trump on this. I think that in terms of body language alone, Jeb hasn't got. I think Jeb's biggest problem is he shouldn't be going for most improved at this point. The guy raised $100 million. Everyone told he was banking on the inevitable strategy, and instead he's like trying to get his mojo now. I mean, he should be prepared for all this a long time ago.
Yeah, he ought to send, actually, I think, Donald Trump a thank you note, because sparring with Donald Trump obviously gets people to talk about you today. Really? He actually said the words that Jeb Bush needed somebody to say, you have more energy, because he gets criticized on that point. I don't know if that's fair. He seems like a pretty energetic guy. He says he's got a lot of, passion and whatnot about the issues. We certainly saw that down in Florida when he was governor. But, he needed to do something last night that only Donald Trump could help him do. And that was show that he was a fighter. Who else is he really going to fight with on that stage in such a way? So, in a way, it was a good foil for him.
Well, it was a good test, I think. But, Sandra, I'm not sure that he passed. I mean, he did have that moment about his brother. But this is, we've been waiting for a Jeb moment. But you talk about this all the time. He's got lots of money, lots of Wall Street support. But where else is the support? I don't see any rabid fans. I mean, if I comment negatively on Jeb Bush on Twitter, nobody comes after me. If I criticize any of the others, they just hammer.
Andrea, better than that, he's got a track record. He's got a track record in a state where he was able to grow the economy. He has a specific plan on how to grow the broader U.S. economy and how he's going to work us into the world, and he's going to show us growth and put people back to work. He's already called for 4% growth. I mean, he's been very specific. Wasn't that the opportunity to turn away from Donald Trump, say, you know what, now's not the time to talk about my family. This is not the place. I don't know. Where's the strategy? Where's the
But that's part of the problem, and that's part of the problem that Harris was getting to, is that whole debate. We all know that Donald Trump has an ego that's so big that smaller billionaires circle it in orbit. But it turned out that the entire debate became this thing about Trump-centrism. And all the questions were, Donald Trump says this. What do you make about that?
Yeah, he became the litmus.
And a lot of these guys couldn't escape from that. I don't think they were ready to deal with it.
People blame the debate format.
What about, Julie, the other candidates? Carson. I mean, people were saying Marco Rubio had a great night, and I think he did too.
Yeah, I do too. I think Rubio did. Carson, who comes across as incredibly likable, to me felt like he took a Xanax before he went up on that stage. He was so subdued, and he was so
compared to that,
compared to that, and so I'm not sure if he helped himself. I thought Chris Christie had a fairly good night. I could fact check everything he said.
Where was Governor Huckabee?
Nowhere. Kasich had a fairly good night when he could speak, but
I'm going to get a milk carton with Scott Walker on it, because he was just completely gone.
They
he
went
rehearsed
about 20
that line.
minutes without seeing Governor Walker.
Walker rehearsed that line. It was so rehearsed, the whole, we don't need an apprentice in the White House. He repeated it twice. It looked so generic and like.
It was also his best moment.
As the moderator, though, and maybe I'm the only person who feels like this here. Maybe I'm outnumbered on it. But as the moderator, you want to hear from everybody. That's your job. So when somebody goes missing for 40 minutes, you yourself would say, wait a minute, we haven't heard from such and such. Jake Tapper actually at one point said, well, somebody had to be the 11th guy, meaning Governor Huckabee.
Yeah, but I still find it hard to sympathize. I mean, Trump, I even, when I would listen to some of the other candidates, I'm like, bring Trump back. Because I think Trump points out how dull some of the other ones were. I mean, Jonah, you said Walker looked like he was missing. When he finally did speak, it was pretty boring. I mean, Ted Cruz, people say, had
but
a
when
decent
Trump
night,
went after
none
Walker,
none of them were memorable.
When Trump went after Walker, PolitiFact went back and, pointed out the fact that Trump's trying to nail him on running a deficit in his state, and you can't by law run a deficit. It has to have a balanced budget in Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, look, fact-checking Trump is a full-time job, but Trump is at the very least understands how important it is to entertain an audience, particularly in a 3-hour debate. Rubio understood the importance of authenticity. Christie had a good night because he understood authenticity and tried to steer back to the issues that you were talking about.
Rand Paul?
Yeah, Rand, he's the biggest surprise in how he's sort of been lost so far this year. Everyone thought he was going to be the most interesting man in politics and change the center of gravity in the party, and it hasn't happened.
There's no question. Trump is the biggest hurdle they have to overcome. All right, to the Democratic side now, Hillary Clinton's email scandal. Well, at first she joked about it, and then she dismissed it, and then she finally took responsibility. And then she apologized. Oh, but last night she decided to go back to the joke part. So are these TV appearances helping her image? We're going to debate that. And right after the show, we're going to debate even more and give our nicknames if we were running for president. Harris and Jonah have some pretty good ones. So log on to foxnews.com/outnumbered. Click that OT tab. Send us your questions, your comments. What did you think of the debate? What do you want to hear more about? We'll answer.